John Morales is a weatherman down in Florida. He's a veteran. He's been doing it for like 30 years. And the other day, he did a little segment, that was a little bit beyond just giving a weather forecast. And just listening to him, he's doing nothing but laying the truth on you, and it's kind of scary. So let's take a look and see what he's got to say, because he's hitting the nail on the head.
Listen, I've been on this, since 8 o'clock this morning on social media, and there is a lot of anxiety out there because you don't see it turning, right? When is it going to turn? John, it's not turning. It's coming straight to us. It's going to turn, all right? The turn was never forecast to be on Sunday. The turn isn't even on Monday morning. The turn will come Monday afternoon, Monday evening, into Tuesday. Remember that? That was about 6 years ago. That was Hurricane Dorian, as it was absolutely devastating the northwest Bahamas as a Category 5, sat over that region for 2 days. It was headed straight west. Lots of people in Florida were concerned the hurricane was heading here. And as you've grown accustomed to my presentations over my 34 years in South Florida newscasts, confidently, I went on TV and I told you, it's going to turn. You don't need to worry. It is going to turn. And I am here to tell you that I am not sure I can do that this year because of the cuts, the gutting, the sledgehammer attack on science in general, and I could talk about that for a long, long time, and how that is affecting the U.S. Leadership in science over many years, and how we're losing that leadership, and this is a multi-generational impact on science in this country, all right? But specifically, let's talk about the federal government cuts to the National Weather Service and to NOAA. Did you know that Central and South Florida National Weather Service offices are currently basically 20 to 40% understaffed? From Tampa to Key West, including the Miami office, 20 to 40% understaffed. Now, this type of staffing shortage is having impacts across the nation because there's been a nearly 20% reduction in weather balloon launches that carry those radiosondes. And what we're starting to see is that the quality of the forecasts is becoming degraded. There's also a chance, because of some of these cuts, that NOAA Hurricane Hunter aircraft will not be able to fly this year, and with less reconnaissance missions, we may be flying blind, and we may not exactly know how strong a hurricane is before it reaches the coastline, like happened a couple of years ago in Hurricane Otis in Acapulco, Mexico. So I was asked to talk about this today. I'm glad I was. I just want you to know that what you need to do is call your representatives and make sure that these cuts are stopped.
That guy right there, that guy. You need to understand that they have been doing so many cuts to sciences and weather service over the last couple of months that not only are you going to be getting bad forecasts, but they're going to be standing there on the news going, is it going to turn? Is it not going to turn? We don't know. We just don't know because we don't have enough weather balloons to go up. We are doing policy in this country that is causing a brain drain. We are sending out our smartest people. We are not allowing international people to come into this country and use their smarts to benefit us. We are cutting the legs out from underneath scientific research. We're cutting cancer research. We're cutting, like he said, we're cutting the amount of weather balloons that we're sending up, and that's Florida. Florida, it's about to be hurricane season right now. This is the worst time of the year for Florida. And when you are not funding NOAA, when you are not funding the National Weather Service, we have the privilege of just being able to pull out our phone and look on our little weather app, and it's going to tell us whether or not it's going to rain in the next 20 minutes. I mean, these are benefits that we have right now that are just going to go away. We're going to go back to what, like the 80s, where they're just, wondering, oh my God, I don't know. I mean, I think there's going to be a tornado, which, by the way, reminds me, was it last week? Missouri and Tennessee got hit with, dozens of tornadoes because they weren't able to detect them any better. I think 27 people died, which also reminds me that Donald Trump is cutting FEMA funding. So not only are we not going to know about any weather disasters on on the way to hitting us, but we're also going to be cutting the funding for the cleanup afterwards. North Carolina has been begging from the storm that came up through the Gulf and hit them, and they got massive flooding. And it was under Biden, and they were getting funding through FEMA under Biden. But as soon as Donald Trump took office, he cut that funding. He chopped it at the knees. And North Carolina's like, hey, you mind helping us out? We're still kind of a disaster area here. And he's like, I don't care. FEMA's got to go. I can't be spending that money anymore. We're just going to have to let the states handle it on their own. But they do not have a currency. The federal government is a backstop because we have our own currency for emergencies, to be able to dump the amount of money that is needed to fix the problems that natural disasters cause. I mean, Donald Trump was playing his little game after the fires in California that happened a few months ago. I assume that we're going to be going into fire season in California soon, and Donald Trump is going to be telling them to go kick rocks. I remember, what was it? There was a huge storm in West Virginia not too long ago where they got flooded out. Donald Trump told them to go kick rocks. They are cutting any kind of funding that is beneficial to the American people. Things that we used to take for granted, like whether or not a plane is going to stay in the air, whether or not we're going to continue child cancer research, whether or not we're going to know what the weather's going to be. We're just not going to have that anymore. All of the things that make America great, the things that are beneficial to society as a whole, are being gutted because of what? Doge, inefficiency. I don't know, man. Next time you want to check the weather and you pull out your little weather app and you're able to find out in 30 seconds whether or not it's going to rain today, or whether or not there's a big storm coming, or whether or not there's a hurricane coming up the coast, tell me if that's inefficient, because it seems pretty efficient to me. Doing research, scientific research, not just helps us in the now, but it also helps us in the future. We're going to be, these are going to have deleterious effects generational, because there are a lot of people that are counting on being able to go into fields of study that require scientific endeavor, scientific education. But we do not believe in education anymore. We're a postmodernist society. We think that it's all about vibes and, he's my guy and they're the enemy. When we start ending things that are beneficial to everybody, society as a whole, whether Republican or Democrat, when you want to get rid of programs like Social Security and Medicare that help everybody, whether you're a Democrat or you're a Republican or an independent, whether or not we're going to continue diabetes research, which they defunded, child cancer research, which they defunded. These are going to have effects on us that are going to stretch on generationally. I've given up on thinking about climate change and how we're going to mitigate that, because we're not, the Trump regime is not all about that climate change stuff. It's all a bunch of woke ass nonsense. But when you are chopping away at things that we need as a people, collectively as a society, and you leave it by the wayside like a dead body, like Donald Trump is trying to do with just about everything, it's going to have an effect down the road that, yet again, I have to ask the question, is this the world that you want to live in? because it sure as shit isn't the world that I want to live in. I want a world where we take care of each other. I want a nation that cares about, it's not just its children, but it's it's old people too. I mean, when you are cutting, when you're in a red state and you have no more abortion care and you're letting people bleed out on the street, because the hospital's not going to do anything about it. And they talk about caring about kids, but they don't care about kids, because if they did, they'd actually do like child tax credits and help out young mothers by giving them subsidies to be able to buy food and buy diapers and things that other countries do for their citizens. But we do not believe in that. We just believe in this libertarian bootstraps mindset. Get off your ass and go to work. Oh, you want your Medicare? Oh, I know that one of your legs doesn't work and you're 55 years old and you can't go out and get another job. Oh, I'm so sorry for you, but you're just going to have to at least put 20 hours a week into it. We are just basically looking at our American citizens, and I don't care what party you voted for last November. They don't care about you. They care about their rich donors and getting fucking tax cuts. And if anything is standing in their way, whether it's a weather balloon or whether it's, diabetes research, they will cut it and you will never have it again. So anyway, we got some special elections coming up here in the city. I'm sure that they're going all over the country. This November, they're going to have some voting. Go out and vote in the fucking primary. Do what you got to do. South Carolina just had a huge upset where, some old Republican codger just got his ass handed to him by a 25-year-old who was just saying, hey, how about we do some health care for the people? And he won by like 12 points. So America is ripe for a change. Donald Trump's only been in office for less than 5 months, and he's already turned normie Democrats into progressives. I heard an old lady the other day say, I never thought that I was, a Bernie Sanders type of Democrat, but he seems to be the only guy that really seems to care about us. Donald Trump doesn't seem to care about us anymore. I'm like, yeah, honey, absolutely right. So anyway, it's a mess, man. And thank God for that guy, that weatherman there, to be able to use his segment to tell you something that is going to affect you down the road. And we need to be paying a hell of a lot more attention, because this onslaught it's unstoppable, and they don't show any signs of letting up anytime in the future. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe. Keep rocking.